Here's the answer for day 4, problem 1. Sketch the graph of f of x equals 2 times the sine of x. Let's choose 0 for x and evaluate sine of 0 and then times by 2 and we'll know where the dot goes. The sine of 0 is 0 and 2 times 0 is 0. So when x is 0, f of x is 0, and that's located right here. Next, I'm going to mark this position right here. This is pi over 2 along the x-axis. And then substitute pi over 2 in place of x. The sine of pi over 2 is 1, and 2 times 1 is 2. And so pi over 2 comma 2 is a point on the graph. Next, let's evaluate sine of pi. Sine of pi is 0, and 2 times 0 is 0. That's located here. The spot here is going to be 3 pi over 2, and if we continue that wave-like pattern that we're familiar with from previous bellworks, we know that the dot would end up down here, and that at 2 pi, the dot's going to end up right there. And that creates this curve. We can extend that curve in the negative direction. Just need to mark a few additional spots that weren't yet marked on the x-axis. That's going to go down to there, and then swing up to there, and up there at the top, and then down to that spot there. So here's the graph of f of x equals 2 times the sine of x. Now it's been a while since we started by graphing f of x equals sine x. It's been several weeks, but sine x had the same basic shape, but it maxed out at a height of 1, and its minimum height was -1. When we have this additional factor of 2 being times to the sine, that stretches it vertically up to 2 and vertically downward to -2. So having this number multiplied in front creates a change to the amplitude of these peaks. It stretches them, in this case, 2 times. Day 4, problem 2. Find the sum of the first 25 terms of this arithmetic sequence. Here's a formula that we can use to find the sum of terms of an arithmetic sequence. The sum of n terms can be found by taking n divided by 2 and multiplying by the first term plus the last term. In this case, we want to find the sum of 25 terms. So 25 divided by 2 times 10 plus the 25th term. We don't know the 25th term. Let's find it. So we're going to begin by making a general formula that would find any term that we're interested in within that sequence of numbers. The rate of change is 10. So 10 times n starts our formula. Now let's check to see if we need to put any kind of adjustment on the end. When n is 1, 10 times 1 is 10, and that's what the first term is. To find the second term, we would use n is 2. 10 times 2 is 20, and that is what the second term is. So this formula here is sufficient to calculate any term that we want. We want to know the 25th term. And so 10 times 25 is 250. Following this pattern of numbers, the 25th term is 250. And that's what would go inside the parentheses right there. So let's now evaluate that sum formula. Our sum equals 25 divided by 2, which is 12.5, times 260. Type this on a calculator and we'll have the answer. The result is 3,250.